No, never. You've never been to jail?
Marijuana possession found inside her home. And now, fresh jail footage just leaked in. Let's just say, sis is not looking her best. But here's the real twist. The police weren't even looking for her in the first place. We got the full rundown. Let's unpack this. GloRilla in jail. Footage of GloRilla behind bars just surfaced and it's got the streets buzzing, while fans are hyping up her mugshot like it's a glam shoot. The real tea behind her July 2025 arrest has the hip-hop community fired up and calling out the justice system. Let me walk you all through how this all started, because the beginning of this story is enough to make anybody mad. Picture this, it's July 20th, 2025. Around 1:30 a.m., 3 individuals break into GloRilla's home in the St. Malo neighborhood of Forsyth County. But here's the wild part, Glo wasn't even in Georgia at the time. She was all the way in Indianapolis performing live at the WNBA All-Star halftime show, bringing that signature Memphis energy and getting players like Angel Reese hyped. On the sidelines now, the break-in turned chaotic fast when a family member inside started letting off warning shots to scare off the intruders. The suspects dipped after grabbing some jewelry. No one got hurt, thankfully. But here's where it all spirals. When cops showed up to check out the burglary, they claimed they smelled weed and got a search warrant. Instead of chasing down the folks who actually robbed her, they ended up finding what they called a large amount of marijuana of an ounce in her bedroom closet. They also discovered a Schedule I controlled substance. Fast forward 48 hours on July 22nd. GloRilla walks into Forsyth County Jail and turns herself in voluntarily. She was charged with felony marijuana possession and having a Schedule I substance. She posted a $22,260 bond and got out the same day. But here's the real question. How does someone whose house got robbed end up being the only person in handcuffs? GloRilla didn't hold back. She hopped on X and let it all out. Her post had the internet shook. She laid out the timeline crystal clear, and fans were not having it. My house got home invaded Saturday while I was in Indianapolis performing for the WNBA All-Star game, and instead of focusing on finding the suspects, they focus on some cannabis. She broke it all down into 3 straight to-the-point facts that had folks reposting like wildfire. No, I wasn't busted. My house was robbed. I wasn't even home. Long story short, my crib gets hit, and I'm the one they arrest. That post went off over 60,000 likes, thousands of reposts, and fans coast to coast dragging law enforcement for what they called a messed up priority list. Her legal team wasn't playing either. Her lawyers, Drew Finding and Marissa Goldberg, came in hot calling the arrest a disturbing sign of just how twisted the system has gotten. They stressed how law enforcement was more interested in a weed stash than in tracking down the criminals who broke into her home and traumatized her family, all in a state where recreational cannabis is still illegal. What had fans even more outraged was the timing. You've got a woman out here repping her city, performing at a major sports event, uplifting the culture, and while she's on stage, turning up the crowd, her home is being violated, and somehow, she's the one who ends up booked. The internet, when nuclear Glo got flooded with love and support, and folks were not holding back. Twitter turned into a war zone of sympathy, criticism, and rage. So you mean to tell me GloRilla's house gets broken into, and instead of hunting the invaders, they issue a search warrant and arrest her over weed she didn't even touch that day? That post captured exactly what had people heated. Another viral tweet said, GloRilla's crib got hit by 3 burglars while she was out performing, and the police arrested her over weed. She was the victim, not the criminal. It racked up over 19K likes and 2,600 reposts, and it wasn't just about defending Glo, it was about a bigger conversation on how backwards things can get, especially when it comes to how black women in the industry are treated. People were calling out the absurdity. The actual thieves are still on the loose, but the woman who wasn't even there is facing charges. Comments like, "They will do anything to bring a black woman down. Ain't no reason they should have been searching her home instead of catching the real criminals." That's how deep this situation struck the culture. But what also stood out, the resilience and humor fans brought to the conversation. Even while dragging the system, people were making light of it in true hip-hop fashion. Wait, so somebody breaks into GloRilla's house, finds weed, and suddenly she gets arrested while she's in a different city, huh? The memes were flying. Now, let's zoom out. Because this arrest didn't come out of nowhere, it's actually GloRilla's second time getting arrested in Georgia in just over a year, and the pattern is raising eyebrows. The first incident, April 2024. She was pulled over in Gwinnett County for making an illegal U-turn, but what went down during that stop turned into internet history for all kinds of reasons. Were you drinking tonight? The body cam footage from that DUI stop went viral for one big reason. Glo didn't make it easy for those officers, not even a little bit. Her full personality was on display and the internet couldn't look away. Some folks were cracking up, others were secondhand cringing. "Do you know who I am?" "No, I don't." That moment alone became meme gold. But it also sparked convo about how fame can only go so far when you're dealing with law enforcement. That "no, I don't" clap back had people either laughing at the ego check or feeling bad that her celebrity status couldn't shield her. But I'm asking how many drinks you've had. I'm not. Throughout the encounter, GloRilla kept trying to convince them she was good to drive. Evan, though, the body cam clearly picked up the scent of both alcohol and weed. The footage showed her struggling through sobriety tests and dealing with what fans later called a wardrobe mishap, but she never stopped insisting she wasn't drunk. That case got wrapped up without jail time. The specifics about fines or probation weren't disclosed publicly, but fans started noticing a pattern, and it's hard to ignore. Both these legal run-ins happened in Georgia, a state that still hits hard with its drug laws. For an artist like Glo, who reps Memphis, but spends serious time in Atlanta, these repeated entanglements in the same state got folks wondering, is this more than coincidence? But hold up, before we go deeper into her legal history, let's rewind to one of the most bizarre stories people believed about her. Yep, we're talking about the prison for stealing cereal rumor that had the internet in a chokehold back in 2023. Fans were convinced Glo had done 3 years in prison for jacking cereal from Kmart. Where'd it start? A comedy bit with funny Marco. He asked about a totally made-up story on his YouTube series, and Glo played along like a good sport. It was all jokes, but the internet ran with it like it was gospel. By April 2023, the lie had gotten so big, Glo had to hop on X and shut it all the way down. Y'all really believed I went to jail for 3 years over some cereal? That's why y'all hearts be in y'all stomachs today, cause you believe anything someone tells you. She was clearly over it and used the moment to call out how quick people are to fall for internet nonsense. Think about it. While she's out here dealing with real charges and real courtrooms, she also has to waste time debunking fake jail rumors. That's the kind of extra weight female rappers are constantly carrying, and GloRilla's faced plenty of other drama too, stuff that goes way beyond the legal headlines. From lyrical backlash to social media spats, she's had to move carefully while still staying true to herself. Remember when she previewed a song that used the word underscore and folks accused her of ableist? The internet came for her, and instead of doubling down, she actually tweaked the track. Glo showed she's open to listening and evolving. Then came the appearance drama. People tried to call her a catfish after old glam videos resurfaced showing her getting her makeup done. The internet exploded with debates about beauty standards and authenticity. Glo, she brushed it off and leaned into her natural look, but it highlighted a harsh truth: female rappers get judged on everything, just the bars, but the brows, the outfits, the edits, the filters. Even her success came with controversy. When GloRilla took home the Dr. Bobby Jones Best Gospel Inspirational Award at the 2025 BET Awards for Rain Down on Me, Church, Twitter lost its mind. Some traditional gospel fans were not having it. They felt like a secular artist shouldn't be touching gospel awards, and the debates got intense. Gospel veteran Dietrich hadn't even stepped in, calling the win disappointing and pushing for a reset in the gospel category. The bottom line: from viral rumors to real arrests, from backlash over lyrics to gospel beef, GloRilla's had to build a thick skin and keep a solid circle around her just to keep going. And all of this, the legal chaos, the feuds, the headlines, it's shaped how fans see her. So what does her latest arrest say about the journey she's on? Well, we're about to dig deeper into the messiest part of her come up, because when it comes to GloRilla's most explosive controversies, the one that lit up the culture the most, it was her feud with JT from the City Girls. This wasn't just industry shade, this was a full-blown rap war, complete with subs, tweets, interviews, and accusations flying everywhere. It had everything: social media sneak dissing, personal digs, unverified tea, and fans eating up every second. It all traces back to some spicy gossip that started floating around in October 2023. Armin Wiggins dropped a bombshell on his podcast. The wrap-up, he claimed that GloRilla tried to approach JT at the 2023 MTV VMAs in a friendly way, but JT allegedly curved her cold.
Apparently, JT and GloRilla got into a fight or some sort of tussle backstage at the 2023 VMAs this year. Yes, girls were fighting at the VMAs backstage. We all thought it was going to be Nicki, Cardi, and Meg, and really it was GloRilla and JT duking it out backstage, but the girls were kind of keeping it hush-hush.
According to Wiggins, this allegedly escalated into a physical altercation where GloRilla either slapped JT or threw something at her, but no video ever surfaced. A lot of folks wrote it off as just podcast cap, typical industry gossip with no receipts.
And JT snubbed her off, like in a very nasty, catty way, like rolled her eyes at her and ignored her, and GloRilla went in to try to speak and kind of give her a hug, and JT kind of gave like...
The story gained traction online anyway, because that's how hip-hop drama works. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. Once it's out there, it becomes part of the narrative. Fans started picking sides and creating...
But the internet did what it always does: it ran with it. In hip-hop, truth takes a back seat to the narrative, whether it's facts or fiction. Once the tea hits the timeline, it spreads like wildfire. Fans started forming camps, making TikToks and remixing what they thought went down. Both ladies suddenly found themselves drowning in constant questions about beef. The tension stayed bubbling beneath the surface until April 5th, 2024. That's when GloRilla dropped her mixtape Eating Inge and slid in a track called 8 that directly addressed JT. One line stood out: "Me and JT ain't the best of friends, but we ain't beefing ... and real ones always got honor they keep a secret." Glo said it was her way of clearing the air and moving on, but JT wasn't buying it. Too. It looked like Glo was milking the drama for attention. What really pushed JT over the edge was how those lyrics tied back to Glo's earlier bars, like on the FNF Let's Go remix, where she rapped about slapping rap_s. JT saw it as messy and calculated. Then a fan left a comment asking if GloRilla actually slapped JT at an award show, and boom, that lit the match. JT snapped. She hit X and went off. And it was exactly what you'd expect from someone who felt blindsided and disrespected. "She never slapped me ever, never. You all need to find someone else to play with." But she didn't stop there. She went straight for the throat, calling Glo sneaky, shady, and fake. JT claimed Glo came into the game already switching on her day ones and tied it back to the chaos around the FNFREMIX. Then the gloves really came off. JT came for her appearance and her background. "Ugly shouldn't leave your mouth ever. Joe, you look like you were born feet first." She even posted a cryptic pic of her mugshots with a blank spot, hinting she was down for round 2 if things got physical. GloRilla wasn't sitting quietly either. She clapped back with tweets that later got deleted, telling JT to shut your dumbass up and fix them ugly wigs, accusing her of holding on to old jealousy. And when JT tried to clarify she was never slapped, Glo mocked her. "I mentioned your name to clear it up. What you want me to say? I didn't slap you, just hit you with a purse instead." The back and forth hit a boiling point. Glo started threatening to pull up at JT's shows and fired shots about those mugshots. Them mugshots not from fighting, that's from stealing. Both artists called each other corny, fake, and liars. Twitter was living for every second. What made this beef so wild was that it wasn't just about them. It fed into the larger convo about how female rappers constantly get pitted against each other. Fans knew this wasn't just about one line, it was about a culture that thrives on chaos. The drama lasted about 24 hours on social media, but the damage was already done. Then came the red carpet moment. A reporter asked Glo about the drama, and all she said was, 1406 to 1416 clip, "Me and JT ain't the best of friends, but we ain't beefing." That line confirmed it. They weren't close, but they weren't throwing hands anymore either. JT never publicly challenged that version, and the shots stopped flying. The public's reaction was split. Some said it was unnecessary mess that distracted from their music. Others saw it as just another case of internet drama spiraling out of control. Some fans blamed Glo for feeding the flames, while others thought JT went too hard over what was meant to be peace. But if you thought the JT situation was messy, haven't seen anything yet. Because next up, GloRilla's feud with Megan Thee Stallion, and it wasn't sparked by tweets or lyrics. It all came crashing down over a single Instagram story. In May 2025, Glo caught serious heat from Megan, her entire fanbase, over what seemed like a small, throwaway post, but it involved Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez convicted in December 2022 for shooting Megan in the feet. Here's what went down. On May 21st, GloRilla reposted a motivational quote on her IG story with Tory's 2015 track YDR playing in the background. Now, to the average viewer, that might have felt random or harmless, but to fans who knew the context, it hit hard, especially because Megan had just gone live a few days prior, venting about the ongoing harassment she gets from Lane's supporters. So for Glo, her friend, to post anything involving his music, it's felt like betrayal. The fallout came fast. Screenshots started spreading. Megan had unfollowed Glo on Instagram and deleted or archived every post they had together, including birthday tributes. And for fans who'd been following their bond, it was shocking. These two weren't just collaborators, they looked like real friends. Glo took the post down quickly, but the damage already done. Social media exploded with speculation. Was the friendship over? Was it just a misunderstanding? The hotties weren't here for excuses. They dragged Glo across platforms, saying she was out of pocket for playing that song at all. That Rain Down on Me became a breakout moment for her, especially after it snagged the Dr. Bobby Jones Best Gospel Inspirational Award at the 2025 BET Awards. And while that win sparked its own wave of controversy, her live sets have become the stuff of legend, packed with raw energy and that deep, unfiltered connection with her fans. Her halftime performance at the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game, straight up electric. Players like Angel Reese was seen vibing hard on the sidelines, turning it into a full-blown dance break. Her stage presence is undeniable, turning every event into a party, a gift clearly rooted in those early days performing in church. Her Glorious tour, which hit cities from March through July 2025, proved how far she's come as a live act and how effortlessly she can pack out venues across the country. Sure, There were hiccups like that wild St. Louis show that got cut short after multiple brawls broke out in the crowd, but even that couldn't shake her rising dominance. The tour was a statement. She's a certified headliner now, and the trophies haven't stopped piling up. In March, she grabbed Hip Hop Artist of the Year at the iHeartRadio Music Awards, delivering a fiery speech aimed at her doubters and saluting her grind. The following month, Billboard's Women in Music honored her with the Powerhouse Award, recognizing how she ran 2024 and left her mark all over the culture. But what's kept people locked in isn't just her music hits, how real she is about her personal life. One of the most talked about chapters in her story, her celibacy journey. Yup, she's been open and hilarious about it all over social media. Back in November 2024, she announced she was single and celibate till God send me my husband, turning what started as a 90-day challenge into a full and faith-based lifestyle shift. It all kicked off in January 2024, when she launched her 90-day celibacy challenge with her trademark humor. On day 9, she tweeted, "Started my 90-day celibacy thing for New Year's or whatever. I'm on day 9 and my vision blurry AF. Send help." That tweet had fans rolling, but also showed the struggle was real. By day 30, she was back on Twitter like, "Made it to day 30 and y'all still posting all these freaky positions. That's nothing but the devil. Get D behind me, Satan." Her followers loved it not just because it was funny, but because it was real. She kept it 100 about the challenge and never sugarcoated how hard it was. But it was also clear this wasn't just about waiting for a man, it was about her faith and wanting something real over the casual hookups. She laid it out plain, not seeing nobody, not dating nobody, not linking, not texting, nothing till God send me my husband. It was a bold stand rooted in the Christian values she grew up with and her desire for intentional love, not distractions. In February 2025, she leveled up again with a full 30-day wellness challenge, cutting out alcohol, sticking to workouts, and doubling down on mental clarity. It showed how she was using her platform to push growth, not just in herself, but in her fans too. And the internet ate it up. Fans flooded her mentions with praise, sharing their own stories and taking on similar challenges. Media outlets couldn't stop covering it either. Her transparency struck a chord, especially in a culture where celebrities rarely keep it this raw. Of course, the rumor mill hasn't stopped spinning. Folks tried to link her to Drake back in 2022 and NBA star Damian Lillard in 2024. Both shut it down, saying they were just friends. Then came the chatter around Complex host Speedy Mormon after a flirty interview went viral. But so far, no receipts, no confirmation, just vibes. What's clear is this: GloRilla's been using her single era to zero in on her craft and elevate every part of her life. Her celibacy move isn't just about love, it's about keeping her head in the game and dodging the chaos that derails so many new artists. Family ties in the industry. She's hinted she's got connections to Cardi B and Lil Uzi Vert, though nobody's verified it yet. Real or not, she clearly sees hip-hop as a family built on relationships and loyalty. Even with her recent legal trouble, like that headline-grabbing July 2025 arrest, she hasn't missed a beat. Her Glow Bash concert in Memphis still went down on July 25th, proving that no matter what's thrown at her, she shows up for the fans. From church choirs to surviving home break-ins, from facing Grammy snubs to shutting down trolls, GloRilla is proof that authenticity wins. She's held tight to her roots while aiming for the stars, and that's the real power of hip-hop. That's a wrap, y'all. For more wild updates and what's trending next, go ahead and click that card showing up on the screen.